Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Happy to talk to you, as always, about everything going on in the travel world. With me, as always, my co-explorer, Amy Long.
And co-conspirator, you said?
Ah, yes, co-conspirator.
Only for the legal stuff.
Makes you wonder what's going on over here. We're coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And we've got a great show for you today, all about luxury travel. We're going to help you define and maybe even redefine what it means to travel in luxury, the amenities that come with it, because you might be a little confused. It used to be back in the day that luxury travel was only for the ultra wealthy.
Right.
That's completely changed. And the offerings that hotels and different luxury brands around the world, the things they've done to up the game have changed completely, even for people who travel. Maybe what we used to define as maybe mid-tier travel is now more luxurious than ever.
Yeah.
And some of these brands are really going out of their way to set themselves apart. Also, a little bit later in the show, we're going to give you some 2024 hot spots. Where's the next luxury places you need to go? And just when you think you got it all figured out, boom, we switch it up a little bit, because that's what we do here at Unscaled. So thank you so much. What is that? Is that a new haircut you got there? I like that. Is that Supercuts? Okay. Well, wherever it's from, we're really glad that you're here. First off, we really have to try to define what luxury is. A lot of brands, a lot of places, they use the same marketing jargon over and over and over again. And all the words that they use, and you photograph something in black and it means that it's luxurious and everything, but it's not really luxury, right? The old standard definition, or kind of the standard definition, is that travel that is excessive in cost or extravagant in nature and typically involves a unique experience.
That's the part that I think really defines luxury, is it is a unique experience. I do think most people, when they hear luxury, they think expensive. This is going to cost a lot of money. But I think, as you said, the definition for luxury is changing. It maybe will cost a little bit more, but it's getting you this personalized service or experience that you wouldn't get traveling a different way.
I'm right there with you. I believe that modern luxury travel isn't so much about cost, because cost, however you feel about it, cost can be subjective. What's expensive for me may not be expensive for you, and vice versa, right?
Right.
So, and yes, the ultra wealthy, the Jeff Bezoses of the world, the Elon Musk of the world that have these billions of dollars, yes, they're going to have super yachts and things of that, but that isn't necessarily luxury travel anymore, because it's opened up. So many brands, especially over the last few decades, have said, hey, there's a lot of business out there that we're not getting because we're only catering to the 1%. Let's open this up a little bit.
So I would say even luxury is going to have tiers, if you put it that way. You're going to have your luxury, and then maybe your ultra luxury,
Sure.
and these, super yachts that the billionaires are traveling around on.
Absolutely. And there's some fun facts about that here in just a little bit. So you're going to want to stick around. But I really believe that where we're going to center on is that modern luxury travel really focuses in on providing unique experiences. And occasionally those extravagances that really kind of start separating brands and what they, depends on who's in charge, depends on what their nature is and everything else, but they start separating themselves out with nice little hints of luxury.
So you and I have done some traveling, and
Sure.
we have stayed and done some what we consider luxury travel. Of those, which would you consider the most luxurious?
The most luxurious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I tell you what, probably the most luxurious hotel I've ever stayed at is the Langham in Chicago.
I agree.
I believe that the Langham in Chicago, and it may be weird for other people to hear, but the reason I think or thought at first that the Langham was the best place I've ever stayed at came down to very little things like what's happening in the bathroom.
No, wait,
I know you're kind
I
of looking
think-
at me like, what are you talking about? But a lot of luxury properties, it really comes down to, for me, how they handle the bathroom situation. Like, you go into the Langham in Chicago, or at least a couple years ago, we went in 2019, I believe was when we were there last. And you walk in there and they had like buttons for everything. And it, like they had a glass separating the bathroom from the rest of the room. And when you push the button, it like frosted it over.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see anything, but they had a full bathtub that was like a pool that had 800 jets.
Yeah, I
in it.
remember stepping into that shower and there were so many knobs and buttons. I didn't know how to turn the shower on. I thought I was going to have to call down to the front desk and ask them,
How does the shower
how
work?
do I turn the shower
But it
on?
wasn't just technology. Anyone can throw technology in. It was the little things like, look, if you go to a hotel and they don't have a turn down service,
Right,
to me, it's not luxury.
right.
To me, I'm sorry. You could have the best stuff in the world, but if they don't even offer basic things like turn down service. Now, I never understood growing up, very poor. I didn't understand why you'd want someone to come in and make your bed and then move the sheets back so you could just slide into bed and have the slippers at the end of the bed, until I had those things for the
Right.
first time with a little chocolate or goodnight chocolate on the
Yeah.
pillow or whatever. Now it's a standard for me.
I know. I mean, we've talked about how I travel to Pebble Beach frequently for work, and their turn down service includes turning on the gas fireplace in your room. So it's on and it's warm when you
Luxury.
come in at night. I mean, something you never thought you needed, but now when I go there, if for some reason my fireplace isn't on when I come back to my room, I'm a little irritated.
Right.
Like, why isn't my fireplace on?
Exactly. When I walk into my home, I'm like, how come my fireplace isn't going? Then I'm like, I don't have a fireplace.
We don't have a fireplace.
So I'm like, okay, I'm a little disappointed there. But, it's those kind of experiences. And typically, your luxury traveler, if you're going to define it, typically they look at travelers that are 30 years old and older that have that excess money. Usually it's a household income of at least $150,000 and up. Now, again, that's subjective to people. It changes all over the world, but
Yeah.
that's kind of on average. And we are talking U.S. terms as far as dollars and things of that nature. So it ebbs and flows a little bit.
But I think basically it means people who have excess cash to spend, disposable income to spend a little bit more money on their travel. They are looking for a unique, personalized experience, something more than just, I'm going to go check in at the motel down the road. Something nice, something that, honestly, I think it comes down to comfort too.
Yeah.
You and I have both said a few times, we will pay a little bit more money for a certain comfort level.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't do it. I mean, you get to a certain age, unless you're an ultra budget traveler or you have those constraints. God bless. I've been there too, and we do it all the time as well. But if you have the money and there's an opening at the hotel, look, it comes down to like beds and what my back can handle at this age. And honestly,
How soft is the pillow?
all of those
What's
things.
the firmness of the mattress?
All
Do
of
you
those
remember though when we left the Langham, we stayed in Chicago for a few extra days, and for some reason we had to check out of the Langham and change hotels.
Yeah.
And we went to what's considered a mid-tier hotel chain.
Oh,
But that particular
yes.
hotel was, I would not put it in mid-tier. I'd probably put it in a lower tier. And we were so, I guess just moving from such luxury
cannot
to such
move
not luxury
from
was
the
shocking.
to the mid tier, because that's why we keep knocking it down a few pegs, because we're like, how can you drop that far from
Right.
the Langham?
I think if we would
to
have
anything
started in
else?
the other place, it would have been totally fine. But moving there, we went backwards.
We were literally 2 blocks away, and it felt like worlds apart. When we come back, we're going to talk some more luxury travel. Where's the best places you've been? I'd like to know. Visit us, fullmetaltraveler.com. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, here with my co-conspirator, Amy Long.
Hi, guys.
We're on the hunt, or we're being hunted. I don't know, however that goes. Coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We're talking luxury. What a better city. Well, you know, the best city to be in, talking about luxury resorts and things. Las Vegas is known for a number of them. We do have a number of them. We actually have one that just opened not too long ago, the Fontainebleau.
Yeah.
Which was already a brand in Miami, but they opened one here in Las Vegas. It's very luxurious, very blue. They put blue lights all over it. It's very blue.
Very blue, yeah.
You know, we're kind of defining and redefining what it is to be a luxury traveler in this day and age. We did give statistics about, you know, usually these travelers are 30 years old and older, have a household income of $150,000 US. But that's not necessarily the case. There are younger folks that travel. They've sold everything and they travel, and some of them travel in luxury, depending on if they're YouTubers or not.
Right.
Every time I see a YouTuber or an influencer traveling the world and making money off of these YouTubes or TikTok or whatever, I just want to go sit in a corner and cry because I did something wrong somewhere. That
you are not traveling in luxury every day.
No. Instead, I go to, you know, we go to work. Not that we don't love the companies, you know, but you just kind of feel a little bit cheated. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong here.
That's a whole different show.
Yeah, that's a whole different gripe. That's a 45-minute gripe session right there. That's what that is.
But I think it brings up a good point. The reason these people are making money is because luxury travel in general is growing.
Mm-hmm.
People, and I don't know if it's because we were all stuck in our houses for like a year and a half, but coming out of the pandemic, luxury travel has, I mean, it's almost back at where it was before. But didn't you say like the people looking for luxury travel online during the pandemic was like astronomical compared to what it was before?
Well, according to a number of reports, and it's not just one, it's, you know, everybody that's looking at the facts and figures. I read this stuff all the time. One good nugget I found was, despite the rising cost of travel and us being always teetering on the edge of another recession, that worry here and there, and the rising cost of food and all this other stuff, that the luxury travel market is experiencing unprecedented growth. Okay. Right now in 2021, you know, it's kind of when the latest figures were out, that market was valued at $1.2 trillion. Trillion with a T.
Wow.
It's expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 7.6% between that time and 2030. So it's growing. So even though I think, you know, I don't know, there might be a number of factors that people looking at it and go, well, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to buy a home. Home rates are astronomical. I'm not going to be able to afford this. I might as well go out and travel and have fun, make some memories while I'm young or younger.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
traveling in general is something we didn't do a ton of growing up. And as you and I got a little bit older and we did have some disposable income, we did start traveling more. But coming out of the pandemic and just seeing a lot of the tragedy in it, it kind of does open your eyes to life is short. If you want to travel, get out there, go do it. If you want to travel in luxury, hey, as long as you can still pay your other bills, go ahead, spend that money on, you know, first class tickets and a high class hotel room.
According to a report by Luxury Travel Advisor, 68% of luxury travelers have reported that they're opting for experiences tailored to what they value most, which includes longer vacations, increased privacy, and premium high-end amenities. Okay. This has led to a surge in popularity for like luxury yachts, train experiences, and even cruises. And you and I can testify to cruise options. Mm-hmm. Not too long ago, we were invited to the naming ceremony, which is very cool, for the Celebrity Cruises' new ship, the Ascent.
Yeah.
Where they actually, I never knew that they still broke a bottle of champagne on the side of it, which was really cool. It was really cool. It was really exciting to see. But in this, they give you a tour of all the luxury, like they have luxury villas, luxury penthouses.
Yeah.
And
these are like apartments.
These are apartments that come with their own high-end luxury accommodations and amenities, such as like a private butler.
Yeah, they had their own pool separated from the rest of the hotel, and then the private butler could bring you food from any of the restaurants.
It's
on
funny
the
you
boat.
said hotel from the rest of the
The
ship.
hotel. It's a ship is a hotel.
But, I
It's
mean-
just on the water.
But a ship that has so many pools in it, and the way they have everything laid out, there are pools like right next to these
Yeah.
villas. And even within that, you get your own private pool that looks out into the ocean.
Yeah, every one of those villas or penthouses had its own deck with a pool on it, and then there was the group pool in that private area. It was
And
actually
things like-
really incredible because I've never been on a cruise that was kind of, I guess, at that luxury level.
Ooh.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that people
I didn't
did this
know.
on cruises. So I'm a little jealous that we haven't cruised like that before.
Once your eyes, and I think that's part of it. I think once your eyes are open to it, you can't unsee it, right? I mean, they had little things like private entrances to like the different food options and the spa and the gym.
Yeah.
And someone that would come and get you for any, they would come bring you food. They would come bring you drink. It's all inclusive. It's
You had your own concierge.
You didn't have to. The way they put it was like this. And we talk about the privacy options. You didn't have to see other people from the ship unless you wanted to see other people from the ship. And we're not talking embarking and disembarking. But like the entire time on there, you didn't have to see other people if you didn't want to.
If you are a true introvert and you just want to hang out in your room and look out the deck at the beautiful horizon, you could totally do that on one of these celebrity ships and have all of your food brought to you
It was
all day.
amazing. It was amazing to look at him and just kind of witness all of this stuff. But that's where it's going, and it's been going that way for a very long time. And we talked about like luxury yachts. I remember seeing a statistic during the middle of the pandemic saying that the Google searches for luxury yachts were astronomical. I don't know what went into the ether that people were like, hey, I'm going to get me a nice ship. If I can't be around people, I'm going to the water. But it went up like 2,000 something % people over that time period looking at luxury yachts. And brands over the last few years have caught on to that. Ritz-Carlton, Virgin, a lot of these brands have caught on and made these super yachts that people can...
You can rent it?
Well, you can rent it or you can buy tickets to it.
Oh.
Almost like a smaller cruise, a more intimate cruise.
Really?
And go on these things that are all high-end luxury.
That's pretty incredible. I was telling you, some friends of ours, they actually rent a sailboat every year that comes with a captain, and they go sail for 2 weeks, and that's what they do for a family vacation. So
it comes with a captain.
So
don't
you
even
can
have
either
to-
hire
okay.
it with a captain or not. They do know how to sail, so they are perfectly capable of selling it without the captain. But having the captain there allows them to actually enjoy being on the boat. But I'm like, that's at a whole other level of luxury. It never even occurred to me to rent a sailboat and sail around the ocean.
Wow. I didn't even know that. I didn't know you could do that. Well, maybe I did. Maybe some part of me just blocks that out because so desperately poor. When we come back, we're going to have more. Keep it right here on Scale Travel Show.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Lost my voice there. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun with us. We're talking luxury travel, what it means and what it doesn't mean anymore to travel in luxury. Now we're talking ultra luxury. There's so many luxury options now. Like everyone has a luxury option.
Yeah.
But what sets these places and brands apart, it might surprise you. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to surprise you or not. But it is fun to kind of to talk about. And even if it's just to dream a little dream about luxury experiences. That's what it's all about.
Are you going to sing to us now?
I was about to. I honestly was. And then I thought about it. I was like, no.
I love you, but thank you for not singing.
All of our affiliates around the world are thanking me in unison for not singing, which I find offensive, but that's okay. We will move on. We will move on. We're talking luxury brands, a little bit later. A little bit earlier, we were talking about the luxury experiences on cruise ships are now just crazy. I know later on from this episode, like down the road in time, the giant ship Icon of the Sea is going to be launching.
Right.
And that's more about, it's more family, but it's family luxury. It's family experiences. But there are all kinds of ships. Even Celebrity Cruises is, launching another ship down in the future, and it's going to have even more luxurious stuff. So, and you're talking about the restaurant offerings on ships as well as celebrities and well-known chefs. Michelin star chefs are opening restaurants on these ships that can be compared to some of the best restaurants in the world.
Right. That was the thing when we were on the celebrity ascent for the naming ceremony, walking around and seeing all the restaurants. Every single one of them looked like the kind of restaurant you book for your anniversary or for that special birthday or that, I'm going to propose tonight type of place. They were all so fancy. And I remember walking around and telling you, this is the most luxurious cruise ship I have ever been on.
Yeah.
It kind of blew my mind how fancy everything was.
I kept trying to get you to still the silverware, and you just would not do it. She wouldn't do it. She's a good person.
I try to be.
No boy, no. They often talk about the 5 C's of luxury travel, and we're not talking about ships on the sea, but the actual sea. So those are very quickly culture, cuisine, community, content, and customization. All of those kind of play a hand in everything we've been talking about. Luxury travelers often want to get that truly immersive feel, which is kind of strange, right? It used to be if you were in luxury, you didn't want to mix with the commoners.
Right.
That was part of it.
Right.
I'm going to go up here to the whatever brand hotel because I don't want to mix with the people. It's completely turned on its head where now they're trying to buy experiences that get you closer and more involved wherever you travel.
Yeah, I think in the way I see it is they want this experience where they can feel really connected to the local culture, but they still want a certain level of comfort. And that's where the luxury
and privacy.
part and privacy.
And,
I want to know it's safe to get down into the real neighborhoods. And I want to know that I don't really need to worry about how I'm getting there and how I'm getting back to my hotel. Somebody's going to plan all of that for me. Somebody's going to drive me down there. But I do get that experience. Now, is it authentic? I think that's a whole different question, but it's luxury.
Well, I think that's a good way to kind of explain it is that you don't want to have to deal with those details.
Right.
There are all kinds of luxury travel agencies and concierge companies. They call themselves concierge companies anyway, that will curate basically from the time you leave your house until the time you get back. They will line up cars. They will line up the planes. They will line up the hotels. Any of the excursions and experiences.
Right.
We were talking to some folks that work for a company called HISO Collective that they have offerings in places like Kenya. You normally wouldn't think about especially if it's your first trip out of the United States or something like that, or out of the place that you live, about Kenya having a high-end luxury experience waiting for you, ready to be tailored.
Yeah.
But it really is kind of one of those underrated markets. It's a beautiful country. It's got gorgeous coastlines. And here they would for instance, they would customize a trip. There's a sea, right? They would customize a trip for you where you would go out on a tropical safari.
Tropical?
Well, tropical, sorry. You would go out on a safari, the tropical one, and do all the things that are there, and they would do all of that for you. They would line up the whole experience for you.
Yeah.
And make sure you get back to your property. But when you get back to your property, you got a world-class spa waiting for you, and a world-class dining options with views of the water and things like that. So that's what we're talking about when we're mentioning the 5 C's of luxury travel and what it really means to travel that way today.
So I guess luxury travel can be anywhere because it never occurred to me a place like Kenya would be considered luxurious. But I did actually, now that you said that, I was reminded that I saw someone posted a photo of themselves at a hotel in Kenya They were on a second-story balcony feeding a giraffe, which I know you have had the pleasure of feeding a giraffe before,
Yeah.
and I'm very, very jealous. But it never it never really occurred to me like, oh, this could be a luxurious experience. But now thinking about that, if it was one of these upscale hotels, that totally kind of changes my view of a vacation to Kenya, which is somewhere I do want to go. I would love to go on a safari. You know how much I love animals.
Yeah.
But I also do kind of, at my age, want a certain level of comfort when I travel.
And I think, where they start filling in the gaps is that whether you like traveling as somebody that's in the Western world that has, more developed country. Because I think if we look at London, I think we could go online and pick out a hotel and pick out all these things that we wanted and find the flights and all of that. When it's a place that you're not that in tune with,
Right.
you don't know who, you want to take some of the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. And there are, like I said, there's all kinds of companies now that tailor to that experience. And that's what you're kind of paying for.
Right. Well, even when you and I went to Lisbon a few years ago, that company, we had a company that set up just one day of excursions for us. And it was very nice. They took us to a vineyard with a winery, and we got a private tour. And then they drove us in classic convertible cars
So cool.
down the coastline, took us to a few different like scenic places, took us to a marina, pointed out a lot of things, gave us a lot of history of the area, something that we probably never would have even thought about, but it was such a really fun and unique experience.
That's part. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that right there. It's you provided those unique experiences, and it's something that we didn't have to think about. It's kind of this, like, here's package 1, package 2, package 3,
Right.
and we'll set it all up for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything else. But it's all going to be high end. You're not stopping at McDonald's. Not that there's anything wrong with McDonald's.
We've eaten McDonald's on vacation many
Sure,
times.
Sure. You don't think about it. But think about some of the nicer, what's all the nice high end places that we've been to very quickly here. Like, what have been one or two of your favorites?
Well, the first one I ever stayed in was La Meridian in San Francisco. That was the first time I was ever in what's considered a luxury hotel. And I was just, growing up without a lot of money, I'd never stayed anywhere like that. So I was fascinated. And it kind of does set this bar for you of when you go to another hotel, you kind of compare everything to it, even though maybe you shouldn't. But I sort of set my luxury bar at the La Meridian now.
Hey, well, we mentioned earlier the Langham. That's mine, and Celebrity Ascent and all of that. Places such as my personal favorite, the Hotel Savoy or Savoy Palace and Madeira, is just crazy.
Another place you went without me.
Oh, yes. Maybe that's what made it ultra luxurious.
Oh, my goodness.
If I survive this break, we're going to have more of the year's top luxury hotspots. We're going to name some out that the big boys and girls have named for us. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. Keep it right here.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, coming to you from the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios in beautiful Las Vegas. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, we hope you get there safely. Are those new jeans you got? Come on, man. Did your mama buy you them? I don't know. I was looking at my own pants going, I don't know what's happening here.
Well, as you can see, he's back, so I did not end him over the break.
Yes, she did not end me. Thank you for sparing me. You're wise. You are all of that. We're talking about the luxury hotspots. Some of these spots that we're going to share with you were taken from the big travel publishers in the world, the Condé Nast Travelers, Travel and Leisure.
Yeah.
all of these kind of companies, these sort of companies put out these lists every year, the hot spots of travel. So they're more like guidelines, not necessities, I don't think, because some of them, whatever. But
I think I looked at the Forbes list and it had so many places on it. I was like, how can you call this hot spots when I think we're touching on half the countries in the world? It just seemed a little bit like, let's just cover all our bases. So what you and I
upset
did,
anybody
right?
in the world. Yeah.
So what you and I did was we went through all these lists and we kind of picked out the places that would be on our list of where we want to go or go back to.
When you're looking at traveling there too, a thing that I realized that we forgot to even talk about is like luxury destinations when you're flying. The experience now flying is crazy when you look at first class.
Right.
And what some of these airlines, a lot of these airlines don't even operate inside the US, or even their ultra luxurious classes, their planes don't come here. Like the ultra luxury Singapore Airlines offerings where they give you 50 square feet of room, which is enough. It's like, oh, that's not a whole lot. Yeah, it is. It's enough for
on
a
an
bed.
Airplane.
On an airplane, they give you a bed. They give you 2 chairs. Like you basically have your own little apartment.
Wow.
Whereas if you're back in economy, you get 11 inches of legroom.
Yep.
So that's what you're paying for.
Well, it was Singapore Airlines that we flew when we went to Japan last year, and we were in the next to last row on the plane. So not only were we in economy, we were back there with the flight attendants as they were making food.
I had to Fred Flintstone that thing, man. They had me out there pushing my bare feet to get the plane off the ground. That's the luxury I paid for.
I mean, it was nice that we were in the back. We could stand up and not be anybody's way, but literally the next to last row of the plane.
You start learning. Look, if you can't fly in the very front of the plane, after so many trips over the seas, you figure out your system, your particular system for surviving 12 to 16 hours on a plane, if not more, these long haul things. And so what we learned is like, hey, get in the back of the plane. You can stand up. You make friends with the flight attendants very quickly. They don't care if you're standing back there because they're all eating and talking and gossiping anyway.
Yeah.
So you just kind of hang out back there. I had a 16-hour flight to Australia where I was just, I like my aisle seats. I don't care if my elbows get banged up, but I like to be able to stretch out. I like to be able to get up without waking up my neighbors or just, falling over people and doing whatever. But, I'll tell you this much though. as an aside real quick, you people that have gas on planes and stink it up for the rest of us. Look, I'm not trying to be gross or obscenely here. I'm just saying, on a 16-hour flight, how do you have gas for 16 straight hours? I want to know that. I want to honestly know that. There are pills you can take. I'm saying for the rest of us, it was unseemly.
Well, some people should probably avoid the airline food. Just stick to their dry snacks and water.
You'd think they would learn, man. But Qatar Airways also has like their Q suites, which are, since they came out a couple of years ago, Qatar Airways Q suite has been named like the best of the first class seats.
Is that the one that's like a cocoon around
Almost,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a door on it.
Yeah.
The seats lay almost completely flat, or if they do not, they do lay completely flat. And again, we kind of talked earlier about super yachts, Ritz-Carlton, Virgin, Aman, all these brands that are known for high-end stuff. They're venturing out. They're using that currency that they've developed as high-end brands to really gain people's trust and saying, look, we're going to give you a Ritz-Carlton experience just at sea.
Right.
People signed it up for it.
Well, I mean, I
Absolutely.
think it's proven that, especially on an airline, that people will pay a little bit more money for a little bit more comfort. I mean, that's why you have the classes of seats. So
Absolutely.
it makes sense that they have recognized there's a need for a luxury flight experience outside of renting a private jet, and they are now giving it to you. You're going to pay for it, but you can have that experience on a plane.
One of those places is a place we've been to, but it continuously, now that Japan has eased its access restrictions, Kyoto.
Oh, right.
Kyoto is one of these cities. We didn't get enough time in Kyoto personally when we went. There were so many things we were trying to accomplish, but it's one of those places that's very high up again to go back to on our list. But Kyoto remains a hot spot because there's so many unique offerings in so many places, not just in the city, but it's right there on the bullet train,
Across
schedule,
the country, yeah.
where you could just hop on a train and so many day trips, both to the north and to the south and the west of the country. It's just a beautiful city. I wish we had more time.
Right. I definitely think it's somewhere we'll be going back soon. Spend a little more time there.
Another one of these places is Malta. Malta is always, come on, it's Malta. It's like saying, look, Bali's on this list too, but it's Bali or Bali, depending on how you pronounce it.
Where are you from?
From Southeast Texas. I am so sorry. Bali, Malta, Kyoto, just gorgeous places anyway. One that really surprised me, but is a gorgeous city. I've never been there. Shanghai, though.
Right.
Many lists this year.
I just saw it on a documentary not too long ago, and I was surprised by how lovely it is, because anytime I hear Shanghai, I automatically just think big city, crowded, overpopulated. And it's actually not. And they've done a lot with public transportation so that the streets aren't super crowded either. So it's an area that they recognize has a lot of people in it, and the government has done what they can to keep it from having congested roads everywhere. So they have a really great public transportation system.
In Shanghai, if you're U.S., if you're flying out of the U.S. or whatever, you may be like, oh, Shanghai, China, what are you talking about? Aren't they not happy with us all the time? Sorta, but they have recently kind of relaxed travel restrictions as far as Western tourists coming in. So you may have to wait a little bit, get all your paperwork in line. But once you get there, you're going to be treated to a really wonderful experience. And it's continuously rated one of the best cities in the world.
Right.
And I can't wait to go. I know it's very high up on our list, which right now, I mean, political things you can't do anything about. Okay. It's just kind of the way of the world right now. Unfortunately, you just kind of go where you can go. And so maybe over the next couple of years might be the best time to actually check some of those higher places that, or I should say lower places that might have been lower on your list because of XYZ, maybe move them to the front because, now's the time to get out there and go see it.
Yeah. Well, the other one that we saw on multiple lists kind of fits in that same category was Seoul, Korea. And I honestly, it's not a place that I ever really thought about until I started seeing it and then on all these lists, and I start looking into it, and it's like, yeah, this is definitely somewhere that I would want to go.
And not just for K-pop. And not just if you're a fan of Pink Black or...
I don't know.
Or...
what's that other one? BTS?
BTS?
Yeah.
Whatever,
we only know this because we have a teenage daughter.
Whatever the kids are listening to, that rap music. So you have, I hear it's just fabulous. I haven't been there, but plenty of people that you talk to that are in this business that tell you, they're like, Korea, man. Seoul, Korea is just one of these places that you just, it takes multiple trips to really get into and everything. And of course, your winter destinations like Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. If you are, you like the snow.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, tropical destinations. Tropical destinations are always.
Oh, right.
Always.
They're always popular.
The Caribbean and your Hawaiis and things. But we hope this luxury talk got you in the mood for some luxury travel. We hope you go out there and, if you're going to spend your money, spend it on some wonderful experiences for you and your group, your family, whatever it is. Go out there, be safe, have fun, and, remember, turn down service. That's where it begins and ends. Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you next time.